Okay, so you see that the picture that is Sons and Lovers, D.S. Lawrence, written by D.S. Lawrence. So it's a novel, and it's an autobiographical novel based on the life of D.H. Lawrence. And as we had been talking earlier, that means D.S. Lawrence was born in Nottinghamshire, East England. And at the time, Nottinghamshire and East was mainly an area of coal mines, several coal mines. And T.S. Lawrence's father was a coal miner. And we have also learned that this man, that means D.S. Lawrence's father, started working as a coal miner when he was 13. So in this novel, we will see that the chief of the family, he started working in a coal mine. And that coal mine, exactly it's not said that whenever uh, that man started working for the coal mines, it has not been mentioned. However, we can perceive that it is D.S. Lawrence's father. In that perspective, that novel is an autobiographical novel that was published in 1913. And especially after the publication of this very novel, that novel, Sons and Lovers, that novel created lots of criticism for the cause of obscenity. That means the physical and romantic relation so expressive in mood that many persons at the time, many literary critics at the time criticized Sons and Lovers vehemently with very negative note. Note on what? Note that this novel violated the decency of the norms of physical and romantic relation between men and women. But next time, this novel became one of the main novels of modern times, especially the 20th century. Along with the other novel written by the same writer, that is D.S. Lawrence's Lady Chatterley Lovers, The White Peacock, The Trespassers, this novel, Sons and Lovers, also has placed a very important position in world literature because of the narrative techniques and also the psychological involvement and also the stream of consciousness and also the absurdity or some other issues relating to the personal life or the personality of the modern man. So in D.S. Lawrence's novel, among D.S. Lawrence's novel, Sons and Lover plays and plays a very, very significant role in literary history. That is Sons and Lovers. And as I have said, that this novel is an autobiographical novel. If we start this novel, we see that there are some characters will be there. Okay, and which are the characters? Especially if we notice that this novel starts with two characters, that is Walter Morrell and Gertrude Morrell. But Walter Morrell is the chief of the family, and Gertrude Coppard, actually her previous name previously to marry Walter Morrell. And after Gertrude Coppard marriage to Walter Morrell, Gertrude Coppard became Gertrude Morrell. Most probably you have understood. So whenever Walter Morrell had been working in the coal mine, he was very handsome, very lovable, a very romantic fellow at that time. and Gertrude Crawford fall in love with this young, handsome, and beautiful personality that is Walter Morel. And their love relation grew very explosively, and within a short period of time, they decided that they would be married, and they would, and successively they married. And Gertrude Crawford became Gertrude Morel. So the family starts, in the first part, you see that the family starts with Walter Morel. He is a coal miner. And Gertrude Morel belonged to a middle class family. And as we have perceived that being a member or being a workman in a coal mine, Walter Morel belonged to the lower class family. However, some characteristics are there that attracted Gertrude. That is, Walter Morel was very lovable, romantic, very amusing fellow, a man on humor and everything. After the marriage, Gertrude Morel observed that actually Gertrude Morel belonged to a middle class family. So the marriage between middle class to the lower class, that means Gertrude Crawford to Walter Morel, that made a clash. And Gertrude Morel, in order to cope the situation, in order to adjust the family surroundings and the social surroundings and other things, Gertrude Morel tried to tried to get her convinced with the situation. And that situation goes on. And we can say that a marriage between Walter Morel and Gertrude Crawford was a matched material relationship. That means the relationship between lower class and the middle class. That was a situation. And for this reason, actually, Walter Morel was a working class man, and for this reason, he had some involvement with other things. That means he started drinking. Walter Morel, he started to going to party, and he started taking alcohol a lot, and every day he would come to home late, and he started shouting to Gertrude Morel and others. So that situation was the very first 2 and 3 years of their marriage life. Marriage should be a relation. That relation will have twofold significances. And twofold significance in which way? Marriage will be the unification of two minds, and also the unification of two bodies. That means the physical understanding, physical union will be there, and important thing is that the mutual understanding and the mutual bondage between husband and wife should be there. That is perceived through the social custom marriage might provide. But at the very first stage or the very first period of the 20th century, the industrialization realized the country and the world was approaching to World War. So in this situation, the clash, the people become money-minded, and everything is for everything. This situation was deteriorated. That means that situation, which situation? That means the marriage should be the relation between mind to mind. That relation was collapsed. And same thing happened to the marriage between Walter Morel and Gertrude Morel. And after 1, 2, or 3 years, their first baby was born, and his name was William Morel. And then successively we see another boy, baby boy, Paul Morel, and another daughter, of them, that is Annie Morel, and the fourth one, Arthur Morel. So this family, Walter Morel and Gertrude Morel, got four children in their family. The eldest of them was William Morel. Look here, a women's life is very narrow in space, in which sense that naturally men will be going out for their offices, going out for their parties, going out for their drinking parties or everything else. However, women hoped that they will be enjoying their life after their marriage in the same way as a man does. Gertrude Morel's hope of enjoying their marriage life was shattered for the mismatched relationship or the marriage relationship between Walter Morel and Gertrude Morel. And so Gertrude Morel was not mentally happy. After getting birth, after getting children, so many children, 4 children, especially Gertrude Morel sheltered her mental affection to their eldest son, William Morel. But what is the problem over there? William Morel, and he was attached, actually, from Gertrude Morel's side. He had no love or mutual relationship between, no love relationship or no mutual relationship with Walter Morel. And for this reason, Gertrude Morel shifted all her affection to William Morel. And in such a way that a bondage, a strong bondage started between Gertrude Morel and their first or the eldest son, William Morel. That was the situation. That means William Morel can't go anywhere. And William Morel also attached to Gertrude Morel in every affairs of his life. But next time, what we have observed? We have observed that William Morel started working and he grew a relationship with a girl, Lily. And that girl relationship, William Morel relationship with Lily was not accepted heartily by Gertrude Morel. And William Morel started working as a middle class life because he started a job and he had a girlfriend and he had been doing a middle class sufferer life living Gertrude Morel, his mother. That was not taken heartily by Gertrude Morel. Why? What's the relationship? What's the cause? As I have said, that Gertrude Morel didn't have any mutual understanding between Walter Morel, and for this reason, Gertrude Morel took William Morel as one of his mental shelter. That William Morel went to a middle class family, started living separately, and started living with his girlfriend, Lily. But it's a pathetic scenery. That is, we can say that Walter Morel, Gertrude Morel next time grew her relationship or mental. It's not that it's the mental relationship that is Gertrude Morel grew with their second son, Paul Morel. Paul Morel is the protagonist of this novel. So William Morel died accidentally. And after William Morel's death, Gertrude Morel shifted her all affection towards their second son, Paul Morel. Paul Morel observed that, yes, Gertrude Morel had a very intimate relation with William Morel. So William Morel died, and Paul Morel thought that such kind of William Morel tried to get rid of Gertrude's affection. He couldn't. Paul Morel also thought that yes, his mother might have such kind of attachment with him. And for this reason, Paul Morel was trying to detach from Dr. Morel, his mother. And Paul Morel grew a relationship with Miriam. Miriam. So Miriam is a church girl, a religious-minded girl. And that Miriam had been working in a farm near to the Dr. Morel's family. And at the time, Miriam grew a relationship with Paul Morel, but Miriam was a very platonic kind of girl. She was a very spiritual, spiritualistic notions girl. And Miriam, in no way, tried to attach with Paul Morel physically. Miriam said that, yeah, I want to be a true mental or intellectual friend of Paul Morel. Paul Morel didn't love that. Paul Morel next time went to another girl, that's women. Her name was Clara Doyce. Clara Doyce is a divorcee. He had been separating from her husband. She has been separating from her husband. And there is a difference between Clara Doyce and Miriam. Miriam had a very platonic love, but Clara Doyce was quite opposite. Clara Doyce had a very physical relation with Paul Morel. So they grew the relationship, and Paul Morel started Paul Morel left Miriam and went to Clara Doyce, and their relationship grew. But Paul Morel observed that Clara Doyce in no way was ready to leave her previous husband, and for all the time, Clara Doyce wanted to get attached or go back to her previous husbands. That was also observed by Paul Morel. Okay. So that situation also happens. Okay. And Paul Morel was trying to get relationship with Clara Doyce. But one time, Clara Doyce left Paul Morel and went to her previous husband. After that, Paul Morel returned to his mother, that means Dr. Morel. Other character, in the meantime, previously, Walter Morel died for some reason, and also other two sisters or two siblings of Paul Morel. Annie Morel was a school teacher, and she was supposed to go early for his jobs. And Arthur Morel, the youngest one, he started working in a military in his early ages, and he married another girl. Her name was Beatrice. But Paul Morel was the protagonist, and Paul Morel's attachment to his mother was a very extensive, and also tried to be happy with other girl, but he failed, and he returned to fail from different side. That means in case of Mariam was a spiritual girl or a religious-minded girl. Clara Doyce was a woman, but she had an attachment with his previous husband. But one thing is that means Gertrude Morel couldn't love Miriam, and as well as he couldn't love Clara Doyce. Gertrude Morel didn't want that Paul Morel will be having relationship with Miriam, nor with Clara Doyce. That means Gertrude Morel every time wanted to felt jealousy for Miriam and also felt jealousy for Clara Doyce. Same thing happened for Paul Morel. Paul Morel also had a great hatred for his father, Walter Morel. And Paul Morel also imagined that his father will die. Paul Morel thought that he will be quarreling with his father. That means Paul Morel was jealous to Walter Morel, his father, and Gertrude Morel was jealous to Miriam and Clara Doyce. So that is a linkage of the theme. Most probably you might remember, that is the Oedipus Rex. That is Sophocles' the drama, the Oedipus Rex. That means the psychological involvement with Clara Doyce, with mother and son, and the psychological hatred between father and son that we have seen in this novel. That is, Paul had a very hatred. Paul had hatred towards his father, Walter Morel, and uh, had Paul had affection or mutual relation with his mother, Gertrude Morel. So in this thing, we can say that it is an autobiographical novel in one hand, that, as I have mentioned, that in previously when we had been discussing the biography of D.S. Lawrence, there we have said that D.S. Lawrence had a lover, Jessie. Here, Paul Morel had a lover, and her name was Miriam. So Miriam can be compared with Jessie, and next time D.S. Lawrence grew a love relationship with a professor's wife. Same thing we will see over here, that Paul Morel grew a relationship with Clara Doyce, a married women. So again, Paul Morel's father, Walter Morel, had been working in a coal mining family. So these are the situation. So after the death of Gertrude Morel, Paul Morel was devastated, and he wanted to live separately. That means he is supposed to be free, and he will be living alone, keeping away with the relationship with others, other women as well, but he couldn't. And it can be explained in such a way. That means in case of a man's life, in case of a man's life, affection from women, it may be from mother, it may be from sister, it may be from beloved or something else that's necessary. And that bondage is one of the theme of this novel. That is the bondage. Bondage will be with one another, and the bondage will also create some hatred, love and hatred. So Oedipus Rex is one of the theme of this novel, and also the bondage, that marriage bond, social bond, familial bond, and other things. And such kind of bondage will create love and happiness. For the cause of bondage, you will see the love relation between, or the mutual relationship between Paul Morel and his mother. And in the same time, we see hatred, that is the cause of contradiction with Paul Morel towards his father. And also here, Lawrence also contrasts the body and mind when exploring the idea of desire. So when will be the desire? That means if some mental satisfaction, if anybody is not happy mentally, her affection might turn to jealousy. And in case of Walter Morel, Gertrude Morel didn't have Paul Morel as one of his sons, that he will be happy with passing time or with having a mutual affection between Walter Morel and Paul Morel. Whenever Paul Morel went to Miriam and Paradise, that created towards jealousy for uh, Walter Gertrude Morel. So these are the things, and these are the novels story in brief. So if I conclude that the novel Sons and Lovers, that is an autobiographical novel that was published in 1913. At that time, that novel was banned or also criticized vehemently for the cause of obscenity. And next time, that novel got approval and lots of praise from everybody, becoming a famous novel of 20th century, especially incorporating the psychological position or narration of the characters, and especially a real life character of uh, Walter Morel, Gertrude Morel, and Paul Morel. So this is in brief the story of Sons and Lovers, written by T.S. Lawrence.